Imagine your biggest failure. The job you didn't get. The relationship that crumbled. The college rejection letter that felt like a life sentence. In that moment, it's a gut punch. You think, I will never be happy again. But what if I told you that a year later, you might genuinely be glad it happened? That's not toxic positivity. It's a hardwired neurological process. Harvard psychologist Dan Gilbert calls it synthesized happiness, and it's the reason failure often hurts far less than we predict. Today, we're diving into the science of manufacturing joy, even when things go terribly wrong. We usually think happiness is a reward you only get when you get what you want. Gilbert calls that natural happiness. But there's a second kind, synthesized happiness, the joy we create when we don't get what we want. Think of it as a psychological immune system. Just like your physical immune system fights off pathogens, your brain fights off the threat of unhappiness. When a big negative event happens, a failure, a loss, this system kicks in quietly and helps you reframe your reality. You start to find the upside, the lesson, the "it was meant to be." And here's the wild part, research shows that synthesized happiness is just as real and enduring as the natural kind. You don't just mask the pain, you truly transform it into satisfaction. Let's look at a classic experiment. Researchers had students develop two meaningful photographs, then told them they could keep only one. One group was told they could swap their choice later, the other group's decision was final and irreversible. Who do you think ended up happier with their chosen photo? The ones who were stuck with it. The irreversible group synthesized happiness. They convinced themselves their photo was fantastic. The group who could change their minds. They ruminated, second-guessed, and remained less satisfied. This reveals a flaw in our emotional forecasting called impact bias. We massively overestimate how long and how intensely negative events will affect us. We fixate on the single event, the rejection, and forget that life is a rich tapestry of other experiences that will buffer the blow. We think the failure will be a giant spotlight, in reality, it becomes just one pixel in a vast picture. Why can't we see this resilience coming? Two reasons, focalism and immune neglect. Focalism means we zoom in on the failure so obsessively that we forget all the other things that make life worth living, warm coffee, a friend's text, a sunny day. We think the breakup erases the world, it doesn't. Immune neglect is even sneakier. It's our tendency to completely overlook our own psychological immune system. We forget that we are masters at explaining and rationalizing things. When a bad thing happens, your brain doesn't just sit in misery. It immediately starts asking, why did this happen, and why is this actually a good thing? That process of making sense, of finding a silver lining, is unconscious and incredibly fast. You don't see it coming, but it's your invisible safety net. So, how can we use this science intentionally? Here are 3 research-backed ways to boost your synthesizer. 1. Embrace constraints. The photography study taught us that freedom to change our mind sabotages satisfaction. When you make a decision, even a hard one, mentally close the other doors. Stop looking at your ex's Instagram. Stop wondering, what if? Burn the ships. Your brain will do the rest and fall in love with the shore you landed on. 2. Reframe the narrative. Don't just vent, write down a coherent explanation. Why did this failure happen? What are 3 positive, unintended consequences? Writing forces your brain to structure the chaos and find the hidden benefit. It's a direct command to your psychological immune system. 3. Invest in what stays. Shift your focus away from the single loss and back onto the constants. Nurture friendships, dive into a hobby, practice gratitude for the mundane. It drowns out focalism and reminds your brain that 90% of your world is still intact, still good. The science of happiness reveals a radical truth: we are not passive victims of circumstance. We are architects of our own contentment. Synthesizing joy isn't about denying sadness or pretending failure doesn't sting. It's about trusting that you possess a profound, innate ability to weather the storm and rebuild. The fear of failing is actually the fear of being permanently broken by it. But you can't be. Your mind won't let you. That's the beautiful, built-in trick of being human. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like and subscribe for more science that changes how you see yourself. See you next time.